Hello, I'm joining you. It is Friday, December 27th in the morning. I have just awakened. This is my second cup of coffee, so I'm still a little bleary-eyed, but I thought I'd check in. It's still the holidays, so we'll kind of just talk about that still a little bit more. I did receive some music from people. Thank you all very much. Glad that you folks that let me know enjoyed the music that I shared on Christmas Day. Yes, I was blazed. It was my Christmas blaze, that I share with my brother. There's really absolutely no good reason that marijuana is still illegal in Nebraska. There's no good reason that none, really, no good reason at all. So that's where I stand on that. People have sent me stuff, and I don't expect it. I appreciate it, but I don't expect it. So people sent me some stuff. John M. sent me some records, but it turned out that what he sent me, I owned all of them except for one. So the ones I already owned, they're not in here to show you. They're in my trade pile already out in the other room. But John M., thank you for sending me the records, and the one that I didn't have is a good one. Bob Moses, the drummer. When Elephants Dream of Music. This is on Gramavision. Came out in the 80s, 1983. Stellar personnel on this album. I mean, there are a lot of people. Jeremy Steiggs, Steve Swallow, Nana Vasconcelos is on here. Tommaso Hino and others. This is very, very good. And what I have to say is this. Bob Moses is not a big name known in jazz, but he's a player who's played, with a lot of people. I saw him with Gary Burton and Pat Metheny many years ago. This is high quality, really well executed, written, and played. As I listened to it, the whole thing, I played one side of it twice because it really is good. The thought I thought to myself was, so I wonder why it is this album has there's no history behind it. This is really good. I really enjoyed this. And I thought to myself, had someone used a hype machine, paid some money to make sure people heard this could be considered a major work. That's how good this is. Thank you, John M., for sending it to me. He sent me a Paul McCandless album, who's from Oregon. I already have it. It's filed. A Carla Bley album, which I already have. And the other one was a Jan Hammer. And that one was beat, man. What's up with that? Sending me a beat Jan Hammer album. I got that. Yeah, I'll be real about it. It's not an anger. It's like a... let's see. I know it. He sent me a copy of this. Really beat. I think I can be honest. Don't be sending me no damn beat records unless there's something really rare. I was like, when I pulled this out, I was thinking, what? I got this. I'd show you the copy. I'm not going to go out and get it, okay? I ain't going to dog you anymore, John. Do you see me smiling? Okay. So that came. Thank you, John. I really like that Bob Moses album. Arthur, over in England, sent me some CDs. Thank you. I tried to send a t-shirt to Arthur twice to England, and it came back twice. Customs wouldn't take it. Some kind of bullshit. Frustrating. He sent me some CDs. Kind of a world music dub focus in this package. I like them all. Arthur, I do. I've listened to them all, not all the way through, but enough to tell you I like them. Glitter Beat. This is Glitter Beat, Dubs and Versions 1. The tracks on here are a mixture of African musicians And I do not recognize. Well, yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I was going to say I don't recognize. Dennis Bovell does some of the remixing on here, and Mark Stewart. So he sent me this, and I do have Dennis Bovell and Mark Stewart already in the collection. Have for a while. I like Dennis Bovell's production. He sent me this cool thing project that came out in 2014. 10 Cities, where it's another one of those projects where you match up artists from different parts of the world, and that's what it was, you know. And there it gives a listing of the places, everyone from Berlin to Lagos to Bristol to Kiev. This one starts off particularly strong for my taste. The very first track on here, which is by Octopus, who I do like. I don't have any vinyl, but I've got Octopus on my computer. I like what I consider high quality club dance music for listening. I don't go to clubs, but Octopus is one of those that makes high quality, what I consider techno music, dance. And the matchup with a fellow named Isaac on here, obviously African, really good. Really good. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you. So he sent that to me. He sent this to me. Cold Cut Out and On You Sound, Outside the Echo Chamber. So yeah, On You Sound with Adrian Sherwood. I rate him highly. I like Cold Cut. I've got their records both mixed in here throughout the, you know, Adrian Sherwood's done a lot of production. This is fun. I like dub. I don't experiment much with dub myself as far as production techniques. I do a little bit. But I like the dub. I like this. I like this really well. Probably the favorite of them is this one, the most recent one. It came out in 2017. This is Adrian Sherwood with Pinch, Man versus Sofa. This is killer. This is real good. Beats, dub, sound. Adrian Sherwood, I think, is a master producer. I rate him highly. Always have. I think he's real good. Real good. And then my good friend Randy in Pittsburgh surprised me. For many years now, Randy would send me Christmas gifts. I tried 2 years ago. I would send him stuff when I could. But many years since we've known each other, he sends me Christmas gifts, and this year he did a plate of cookies and stuff, homemade, which I thought was so sweet, you know, all the way from Pittsburgh, this plate of cookies, you know, and the recently remastered Stereolab, you know, they did a bunch of them, of their albums have been remastered. This is the expanded edition of Emperor Tomato Ketchup, 3 LPs. Randy, if you see this, bro, thank you so much. I happened to have company when this came in the mail. A young couple. I like hanging out with young people. It does make sense to hang out with people different age than you, as well as your own age, for perspective and a whole lot of other reasons. But it was my friend Nick's birthday yesterday. He turned 25 yesterday. Told you he's young, and his girlfriend's only 23. They like music, and Nick is a smart young man. I like smart people. They had no idea who Stereolab was. Nick fell out how much he liked and how good this music made him feel. Stereolab is the bomb. This is really awesome. It has a poster, 3 LPs, 1 of demos, 180 gram, really, really nicely pressed, well pressed. I've already played all 3 records on vinyl. I like Stereolab so much that I went ahead and used the download card so I could access these quickly on the computer. I love Stereolab. I've seen them twice in concert. Met Letitia Sadier. Here is some. Here's some Stereolab. I have more on CD and 45 and DVD. I really like Stereolab. I really do. Chemical Chords. This is the one they put out on when they got on 4AD, which I thought, well, that was a little late, but they finally got on 4AD for a while. Definitely has that German Neue cluster krautrock type of influence on their sound. Refried Ectoplasm, Switched On, Volume 2, Stereolab. Mars Audiac Quintet. I like this band. Cobra and Phases Group play Voltage in the Milky Night. Really like this one. Really like that one. And as you see, I already had Emperor Tomato Ketchup. Now I have the expanded edition. This one is really fantastic too. Dots and Loops. This album, I don't know that I can say what their best is because they have so many and I haven't heard them all. But I love this album and play it a lot. Here's a single, Free Design, good song. And then this one, the first of the Microbe Hunters. I have more actually. I do have more Stereolab than this. Good band though. Good band. Thank you. Other than that, I finished the first draft of the piece for the dance company. It's a 15-minute piece, so it's really been a lot of work. I finished the first rough draft of that yesterday, sent it off. We'll see what they think. Spent Christmas Day with my brother. Wrote that piece of music. Still kind of in a holiday kind of frame of feel because it's kind of in the air. Do you ever notice that? The air, the psychic waves coming through your neighborhood. It's still on the holiday vibe. So I'm enjoying that, and so I just want to express that. People are doing a lot of yearly reviews, and I try to stay in the moment so that my thoughts about that stuff are fleeting. So I'll say a couple things about the decade for me and this last year. So when it comes to the decade of the 2010s, if I were to look back on it and say what was it, for me it was the decade of survival. Because it was in 2013, I walked out on my job. I call it retirement. I retired. I left before it killed me. I made a statement by walking off the job. So I retired, cashed in my retirement early. That lasted not quite 2 years because I got penalized, when I turned my stuff in early. I kept about half of it. So even though the 2010s have been full of fulfillment, which I'll get to, a big part of it was survival, which I did. I made it to getting Social Security, which was part of my long-term plan. I was never intending to welch anybody or sponge off of anybody, and I haven't. People have been very kind to be helpful to me. Thank you all very much. On a personal accomplishment level, as far as those sort of feelings, I just am happy with who I am at this point in my life. I have accomplished the things I set out to do. In 2004, I set out a 10-year plan that, it's like in 10 years, it takes 10 years to do anything in music. So by 2014, I wanted to have A, B, C, D done, and I got them all done. They were all realistic goals. And it's even been better than that. This year I was inducted into the Nebraska Music Hall of Fame. I'm a Hall of Famer. I can say that. Those sort of, surfacey sort of things have mostly not been things that motivate me. It's like I'm not trying to win a prize or a trophy or nothing. But when it happens, does it mean anything? Well, it sure in the hell does. You know what I mean? Especially in the social sense that I'm able to say I'm a Hall of Famer. Man, that just really just has a lot of carte blanche with people, you know? Not me. You know, when, like, for example, for years, you know, Johnny Rodgers, a football player, when I was a kid, one of his younger brothers was a playmate of mine. I won't call him a friend because the kid was a dick. He was good friends with my friend, John Pennington, who was Buddy Miles's cousin. They lived across the street from each other, John and Johnny Rodgers' little brother. But it was always and still is such a huge deal to the community that Johnny Rodgers, Hall of Fame. So I can do that too. Dereck Higgins, Hall of Fame. And that's not what I'm all about, but I'll tell you what, this year after it happened, and I went to a couple of events, especially here in my community, in my black community, where it was public, people made a big deal out of it. Hey, there's a Hall of Famer here, Hall of Famer! I like that, that's cool. So, we end the year with feeling fairly centered about just trying to live and be according to the values that I really believe in, doing what I enjoy the most. I'm really happy to be past that high stress point of having to worry about paying the bills every month. I'm really glad to be past that, so I can kind of enjoy existing, you know. That reminds me that Allie Willis, the songwriter, just passed away. One of the channels that I watch regularly is Rock History Music out of Canada. And they had just broadcast a recent interview, or an interview with her in relation to some other artists they were talking about. They've been talking about Toto a lot and people like that. So it just, again, refreshes my realization that tomorrow, the next breath is not guaranteed to anyone. And I am at that age. Every day is precious, you know. It could die any time, literally. And people are dying all the time that I know and don't know. So I'm grateful to be alive and grateful to be feeling the way I do about my life, the way I do now. Very grateful. I think should be hearing about the date of the live broadcast from Adult Swim here soon. I think it's towards the end of January. I should be getting some details on that soon. I'll be sharing them with you.